What's up, guys and girls? What's up, man? Y'all ready to get this money? Hey, it's Friday. Y'all know what's finna go down, man. We jamming with J Money. Y'all know what's up. We got people in the chat already waiting, man. Y'all know what's up. Let's get to some money, man. How was you guys' day yesterday, Jordan?
It was great for my plays on the show. Cashed both of those, but then I went on a couple of prop picks on the Pistons, and my Bruce Brown, my guy, got in foul trouble, and Reggie Jackson got hurt again. So that didn't work out too well. That kind of stifled the upside of yesterday. But maybe if I stick to sides and totals today, we'll cash some more of this money. But yeah, the two picks released yesterday were great. Clippers looked amazing yesterday, and that Milwaukee Houston game was exactly as I thought it would be, up and down that first half, and then it kind of slowed down a little bit. But what about you, man? How'd you guys do yesterday?
Yeah, we made some damn good calls yesterday on that Atlanta game for sure, man. They ended up winning that game by 17. Pretty much just like I told you guys, ran them out the gym, man. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to say the focus on the wins too much, man. It was a good casher. We called it. On to the next one, man. That was a damn good call on you on that over the first half for the Bucks and Rockets. I know at first the first quarter was a little bit stagnant, but then obviously 63 points in that second quarter definitely got us barely over that first half total. We see the full game ended up going under, but man, what a damn good comeback by the Bucks, man. I was watching that game. They were down 16-17. For you know it, they just keep chipping away. Harden, absolutely terrible. Westbrook, the one had the good game yesterday. Harden, what, 2 for 13? Absolutely terrible. They can't do that at the house, but I can't say I'll be looking at the Rockets tomorrow. That's something we'll get to tomorrow. But what you got, Junior? How was your day yesterday?
I had a rough one yesterday. I went 1 for 3, but luckily because of you guys, I got that one. My two plays for the day yesterday were the Clippers, Warriors under 225.5, which I mean that final score was crazy, and I had the Hawks Pistons over 221.5, which just missed. But because I tuned into the show yesterday, even though I wasn't on, you guys put me on to the Hawks. I didn't like it at first, but once I listened to your guys' breakdown, I jumped on that.
Yeah, that was a back to back there for the Pistons that I just had to fade them without their best player. I knew that they weren't already a good offensive team, and I knew that the Hawks, they obviously that's what they focus on. Not so much a good defensive team, but I knew they would run, and that was going to tire the Pistons out in the second half. We saw the Pistons come in there and have a damn good second quarter right there and took a 3 point lead in the halftime, but the Hawks ran them out the gym, man, as expected. And the Clippers, man, hey, I know I was leaning towards the Clippers and I wanted to take them heavy, man. I had to stay. I went on ahead and stayed off of it, but they came out there and did exactly what they were supposed to. You know what I'm saying? So that was a good game there from the Clippers. They exactly who we thought they were on that one. I mean, they come in there and blew the shit out of the Warriors. So I knew the Warriors weren't going to be the same. But damn, that was a little bad there, especially first game in the arena. Even when the refs were calling stuff for them, man. But hey, that's yesterday, man. Do you guys, you know what I'm saying, want to say something real quick, Jordan, about that Lakers and Clippers and Warriors game, real quick?
Yeah, I mean that I think the Warriors had a couple of bad breaks too in that one. Draymond had to go to the locker room early in that one. Then Kevon Looney came out and played really good in the first half, and then couldn't play in the second half because he aggravated his injury. And I think that's part of what led to that Clippers big third quarter yesterday. I mean, he's like the only one that can play defense for that Warriors team in the front court. If they don't have him, they got a whole lot of nothing on that end of the court, especially when it comes to size. So they're going to run up against teams that are more physical and bigger than them, and it's going to give them a lot of problems. That's something to look out for if Looney's out for an extended period of time, because he played great. I faded him in a prop bet too, and that was the only one of my props that came out yesterday. It ended up being a good play on that one. But yeah, it's just it's one of those things, man. I think you said it our first show. The Warriors are just not going to be the same this year, and that's going to be one of their main weaknesses, I think.
Right. Yeah, that was a lovely feeling right there, man. Calling something and you see it come to fruition. I can't say I did hop on the Clippers live. I had to because in the first quarter, when I seen them come out like that, I say they're not messing around with this team tonight. 4.5 and a 7.5. And I had took something else like for them to win 21 plus points at a high ass number, and they only win by 19. But that's enough for yesterday, man. I'm gonna go ahead and welcome in the chat, man. We got Rob Elias in here. We got Luis off in here, man. What's up, A Hilly? We got Word. We got I need money. Hey, I'm with you on that one, man. I wish I had the grill. I need money, just like off how high, man. What's up? Astute Chaos. We got Lamont Williams, man. We got Harlem J, Joshua Haywood. We appreciate all you guys in the chat, man. You guys drop us a like if you don't mind. And hey, go to sportsreview.com and check out the odds. You know what I'm saying? It's always about getting the best number. We see some games tonight with lines moving all over the place, man. So it's all about comparing odds and getting to that best number, man. I'm gonna go ahead and bring us into this first game because I think it's a pretty intriguing game, man. Top two top teams over here in the West, and the Raptors and the Celtics. And we know that the Celtics didn't have a good game, only scored 93 points against the 76ers that first game. I think they'll look a little different here at the house. You do have to note that Enes Kanter is out. I mean, this is a team that was already small. Now they've gotten even smaller. But I mean, the Raptors, they just had a hiccup there at the house. Damn near lost straight up to the Pelicans. Pelicans took them to overtime without Zion Williamson on your open night home floor. When you get the rings, I'm not sure how the Raptors are going to respond in this one, especially coming off overtime. And you got Van Fleet, you know what I'm saying, playing through an injury over there. They have the bigs advantage, but I think the guards, I actually give the advantage to the Celtics. I'm not a fan of Gordon Hayward running the forward whatsoever, but I think early on here, the Celtics is the play, man. I like the Celtics early here in the first half, maybe possibly even first quarter as well. I think the Celtics have to come out hot. They have to show people, hey, look, we still a real team here in the East. We know the 76ers just did us in, but hey, 76ers are the class of the East over there, and we know that they were too big of a team to match up with the Celtics, to match up with the 76ers anyway. So I like the Celtics here early. I think they come out hot. They have obviously home crowd, have one of the best home crowds in the league. What do you think about that, Junior? I like the Celtics early here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't have a play on this game, but it's a tough spot for the Raptors. This game is going to be really interesting because both teams play a lot of defense and can struggle on offense. Like, offense is not a fluid thing for either one of these teams. Like, the Raptors are relying on Siakam. Yeah, he had a great game in the first game, but he's still a really young player. We got to see him put up a few more consistent performances before you can just say he's a lock to get you 25 a night. And in terms of the Celtics, I think I agree with your take that the Celtics wing players have the advantage over the Raptors. But I think that the Enes Kanter injury could be a real problem because they have no size to combat what the Raptors got going on down low.
Yeah, it is pretty scary. I can't say it's really like a clash of two different types of teams here. You have a real big team that really likes to play slow, and I know Jordan's going to like this. I mean, we know that the Celtics are a damn good defensive team. I'm having a feeling. I know the way Jordan thinks, man. He's real good with numbers, man. I'm having a feeling he's liking something on the total here with these two good defensive teams. What you liking today, Jordan, in this Boston Celtics and Raptors matchup?
Man, I'm just glad I had my coffee last night so I could stay up through the overnight odds coming out because I grabbed the under on the first half on this at 111.5 and it's down 2 points. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. And I just, like you guys said, I mean, both these teams are still trying to figure out who their guys are on offense. Kemba Walker is coming in, this Boston team. He's trying to find his way. We already knew that Boston team had some sharing issues, to say the least, last couple years about who was getting what shots and who had what role on offense. So that probably has not gone away. And even with Kanter out, like you guys said, they do have some problems, but I think they're still going to be up to the task defensively tonight at home. That shouldn't be the issue tonight for Boston. The issue is going to be scoring the ball like they did in their first game. And I think Toronto on the road now could have some similar issues outside of Siakam because Lowry is going to get locked down by somebody. I think Jaylen Brown is eager to prove that contract that he just signed is worth it. And one of his main calling cards is defense. Jason Tatum's going to try to stick to Siakam as much as possible. I'm really excited about that matchup. And just the pace of this game, like you mentioned, I think is going to be super slow. I think Boston wants to play slow. I don't think Toronto minds playing slow. I think they looked out of their element playing up and quickly against New Orleans in the opening game. So I'm on the under here in the first half. Probably going to look at the first quarter too on the under. Not quite sure yet. I think that's at 55.5 right now. But I think early on, especially, I think is when we're going to see the offensive struggles and the defensive intensity.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And once again, I might have to ride with you. Even with it moving down 2 points, you make really good points on that. We knew that the Pelicans is pretty much the exact opposite. The Pelicans tried to run them up and down the court and really play any defense. Now you coming in, going into Boston, playing a team that's going to get up into your face pretty much every play. So I do like this to be a lower scoring game. I'm hoping that I can't say I think that the Celtics come out with a little bit more offensive punch, knowing that they don't have Kanter out there, knowing that they got to score more than 93 points this game. game. And I don't think that the Raptors are that caliber of a defensive team anymore, like that the 76ers are. The Raptors still have damn good defense, but obviously losing Kawhi and Danny Green over there, you're gonna take a little bit of a step down. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Kawhi one of the best two-way players out there. So I think the Celtics have to start off hot here at the house. First home game of the season in the Garden. Their place is going to be rocking, and the Celtics going to be pissed off from you have a team that's 0-1 coming in from a team that's 1-0 coming in that's a little bit fat and happy. You know what I'm saying? Got their championship rings. Hey, they probably wear them to the stadium tonight. You know what I'm saying? Watch how shiny it is, man. Hey, you boys finna take this L, well, at least in the first half anyway. So yes, those are official picks, man. I like the Celtics in the first quarter, and I like them in the first half. I think I got -1.5 on that first half. But yeah, I love the Celtics here early, man. What do you like? A different game that you want to get into, Junior, other than this one?
No, I just wanted to mention that I think one of the biggest things in this game, if the Celtics are going to win this game, they got to control the glass. I think Toronto's best shot at winning this game is offensive rebounds. They're not they don't shoot a high percentage, but they got big bodies. They got dudes that crash the glass. At the end of the game, whoever wins that offensive rebound battle is probably going to end up winning this game because, like I said, the margins with these teams, offense is not a calling card for either one of these teams. So I think it's going to be a close game, but the Celtics should be able to pull it out at home because, like you guys said, the Raptors are still, in celebration mode. You've seen Serge Ibaka profiling with his ring. He's probably going to have that ring on for a while. He's not taking that off. None of these guys are taking it off, and I don't blame him. You know what I mean? So if Boston already knows, if they come out and they come out flat after the way they got smacked against Philly, if they lose to the Raptors, the fans are already going to be in panic mode this early in the season.
That's a damn good point, man. It's a damn good point. It's another team that I'm be looking towards tonight, and it's pretty much with that same angle. I mean, I'm still gonna look at stats, the players, the matchups, and everything. But when you have hidden angles in there for extra added motivation, I mean, they just give you more, confidence in your picks, man. And I feel like with me, it's like it just gives me more confidence in betting it. And a lot of times they cash when you know that one team is more motivated than the other. So I definitely think that they have the edge here. Obviously, been at the house, coming off only scoring 93 points against a upper echelon team. I think it's going to be a little bit of an easier task, not so much with the bigs, but still Gasol and Siakam are still no Horford and Embiid to deal with out there. So I like this, even without Cantor. I mean, you're going to have Theis come out there, and Tatum, he's going to have to, match up with Siakam. Let's see how they do defensively. And I really like the Celtics to come out here hot. This next game we're going to get to, I just want to touch on this one real quick, man. We're not going to get too deep into this one, but this Wolves spot, man, we saw the Hornets come out there look a whole lot better than they probably are. PJ Washington hit like 8 3-pointers in one quarter. He wasn't even that great of a shooter in college. You know what I'm saying? So that was a bit of a surprise to me. I'm not saying that he's a bad player, but I mean, I just think that people jumping on the Hornets bandwagon just a little too soon here. And Cody Zeller got announced out as well. I did hop on the Wolves here last night at the -5. It's up to 5.5 now. Obviously, with their Zeller injury out. I'm not saying just because of the injury, but even with Zeller in, I just like the way that the Timberwolves match up against this team. They're one of the fastest paced teams, and I think the Hornets looked a little too good. The Bulls defense made the Hornets look a lot better than they are. I don't think they'll be scored that many points. I think that the Wolves should run away with this one. What do you guys take on that one, Jordan?
I don't mind the Wolves here. I think I'm a little weary still of how Charlotte looked against the Bulls there on opening night to really start to be confident in fading them that badly. But I don't mind the Wolves at all tonight because I do think, like I talked about a couple nights ago, I think they're going to continue to be an undervalued team a little bit, and we've seen the line tick up about a point and a half here in most of these shops. So it does seem like the movement agrees with you there on that one. I just will a little bit weary of if. Like Wiggins and Karl-Anthony Towns had really, really good games. If they can't duplicate that against Charlotte, which I think they can, I don't think the Charlotte team's going to be anything defensively. But if one of them has a bad game, I think that could lead to a backdoor cover here for Charlotte. I think it's the one thing that's kind of scaring me off from following you on this one.
Right, yeah, I can definitely dig it. Any thoughts on this game real quick, Junior?
Well, the first 2 episodes of our show, I slandered Charlotte for most of the episodes. So I'm gonna chill. Let's see what happens. I think that Karl-Anthony Towns, though, without Cody Zeller, that's gonna be a major problem for the Hornets. Karl-Anthony Towns, I mean, nobody could really stop him one-on-one anyway. And without Cody Zeller, they literally don't have another guy that can match up with him. I mean, I know PJ Washington has the Kentucky connection, which means they probably work out in the offseason together, so he knows him a little bit. But I look at that as even more of an advantage for Karl Anthony Towns because you'll know exactly how to attack him and their other bigs.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, the one thing I like about this one, obviously, Karl Anthony Towns, he should be unstoppable. Excuse me, I can't say I don't like the fact that the Wolves won that game in overtime versus the Nets. I was watching that game. I was hoping they would lose. Even though it went in overtime, I was just hoping that the Wolves would come in here 0-1 in this game, be ready to wreck town, you know what I'm saying, in Charlotte. It's not the case. They did get a big win over there, so that's really the only thing I don't like. But especially the fact that Zeller was ruled out, I mean, that makes me like Cat even more in this game. Wiggins looks like almost like a revamped player out there. I mean, he's going to the hole. He's not really settling for so many mid-range jump shots. He's going to the hole. He's scoring. You're going to put Covington over there, PJ Washington. He's not going to look so good tonight. The Wolves, they play fast-paced. They actually have some underrated good defensive players out there. I'll be interested to see if the Hornets can get another cover tonight. I think either the Wolves are going to cover this game easily or the Hornets are going to win straight up. So I feel like if you like the Hornets, I wouldn't even take the points. I mean, you're banking on the Wolves to have a bad night. I just don't see it tonight with this Hornets squad. But that's enough slander for the Hornets. Like Junior said, last time we did that, hey, they came out and got a win, but that was a different team that they was playing, man. I don't necessarily like them tonight. We can go ahead and get to this Mavericks and New Orleans Pelicans game. This is the first game on ESPN. I told you guys, KP and Luka is going to look good out there, man. And they did. A lot of people was taking Porzingis points totals under. Hey, you boy went out there and balled for like 23, 25 points out there on you boys. Could have had more. He took him out a little early. He got some foul trouble. You know what I'm saying? But I think this is going to be a really fast-paced game. I don't have an official plan on this game, but I know I was leaning to the over. That's the only thing I could take here. We know that the Pelicans are going to push the pace all night long. The Mavs can actually push the pace as well. It's just they may try to slow down tonight knowing who they're facing. But, I mean, both of these teams have plenty of offensive scores on their team. We know that Luka, you know what I'm saying, can hit a three from pretty much anywhere on the court if he wants to. Him and KP looks like a real good tandem out there. I think we see plenty of points out here, and I may even have to make that a play. I can't say I'm not on it right now, though. I know you have a play on this game, Jordan.
Yeah, this is my pick on SBR that I wrote up earlier this morning, and I am leaning over on the game, but I think the better line is actually in the quarter at 59 points. It's a little bit fresher of a line. It hasn't been out more than an hour or two, and I think if you look back at their first games between these two teams, the first games for both of these teams, they both played extremely quickly in the first quarter. We've talked about the Pelicans at length and how quickly they jumped out against the Raptors, but the Mavs and the Wizards were really quickly as well in that first quarter. Mavs didn't have as much success, and the shots weren't falling as well, but that pace was still very, very fast. If the shots do end up falling here tonight, which I think they will, just because there's some matchup issues, I think, for both of these teams right now. The Mavs, I think, are going to have to stick Porzingis at the 5 for most of the night because they're still without Dwight Powell. That's just going to increase their pace even more. And Powell is one of their better defenders, if not the best defender in their front court. Without him, they're still going to give up some points, especially to this Pelicans team who's going to be pushing all night. And if no matter who's playing, I think no matter who's trying to guard Porzingis, I think is going to have issues as well as Luka tonight for New Orleans. I think they have a little bit easier time guarding Luka. I think Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, those guys are going to be able to play him pretty well, but not good enough to keep this first quarter from being really, really fast. I think easily could see one or both of these teams into the 30-point range after 12 minutes.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. What do you think about this game, Junior, before I chime in on it real quick?
I agree with Jordan's take, but I took the Pelicans -2.5 for the game. I think that it's just a good spot for the Pelicans. Home opener, crowd's going to be excited. Even without Zion, there's just a real, good energy and vibe around this team. The young guys showed that they could run with, I don't know what you want to call Toronto. They're the defending champions, but obviously they're not the team that they were. But they're probably going to be a playoff team. And I think that in this spot right here, the reason that I'm really on the Pelicans is I feel like Jrue Holiday, Lonzo Ball, and Josh Hart could, really get into Luka's chest. Now, they can't stop Luka. He's got too much size. He's got too much ability. But we saw when Bradley Beal started getting up in Luka's chest, he don't like that. He didn't like the physicality. And all three of those guys defend really physically. I feel like they're going to just run because that's just what they do. And I feel like their by-committee approach is going to take them to the win here because Dallas is relying on two guys. They're a top-heavy team. If one of those two guys has a bad game, it's a bad spot for these guys.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I can't say I'm a Mavericks fan, and I'm not touching this game. I actually lean towards the Pelicans. Pelicans are nothing for me. They play the Rockets tonight, a game where they are not going to win. The Rockets gonna be pissed off in that game at the house. The Pelicans pretty much have to get a win in this. So I know a lot of people don't look ahead in the schedules, but I do. There are certain look ahead spots, all type of stuff. You have to look at what teams playing. I mean, they could be looking towards a game next two games. It just depends on the spot. They play the Rockets tomorrow. They're not winning that game. I'm telling you that this is pretty much. I mean, you don't want to start off the season 0-3. It's a long season, but at the house, if they give the same effort that they did in Toronto, they should, like I say, went over there and almost knocked them off straight up. I think they probably get the win tonight. The Mavericks, I mean, when they have Boban in the game, he's not going to be able to keep up. I mean, he's pretty tall there. He's a defensive anchor. All that. I even see him hit a few threes, hit a couple threes in preseason, which shocked the hell out of me. But regardless, when he gets on the floor, that's not going to be good. I'm talking about they mess around and lap him around the court. He be running down to the other end, and hey, they beat him, went to the other end, then back again. He just still right there running. I can definitely see it, but this is a spot for the Pelicans where I would say they pretty much have to win. I do think that the Mavericks are the better team, though. It's just obviously the first game at the house, you know what I'm saying, in New Orleans. They're going to want up and get up and down the floor and run and gun, and I'm not sure how well that translates right now with Dallas with trying to get so many moving pieces trying to work. So I can definitely see what you're saying there on the Pelicans, and I definitely like to see plenty of points here because we know how the Pelicans. I would never probably take an under with them unless one of their point guards is out. That's a damn good point. How Bill was on Luka last game. And let's see what the chat talking about, man. What Boban got stroke. Yeah, he got that three. He's starting to get a three. Trey Young especially. Yeah, you damn right got the cash for us yesterday, man. What's up, Sherigan? Phineas money lines to play. Oh boy, that's a big one, man. That's a big one. We got a couple of headlines. We know Bagley is out. Bagley gonna be out for about 4 to 6 weeks, and then Aiden, man, with 25 game suspension. I was looking at Aiden in the preseason, guys, and I was like, man, this guy looks revamped. He like a whole nother player out there. He looks like he, you know what I'm saying, on something else, man. Then you come out 25 game suspension. I'm like, okay, that's why he looks so good, man. What you guys think about that coming out yesterday? Aiden being banned for using some type of drug or something like that. What you think about that, Jordan?
Yeah, that was definitely a surprise. There's been a lot of crazy news, like four guys broken fingers, and then Aiden's suspension. It's been a crazy first couple of days of the NBA season, that's for sure. That's unfortunate for the Phoenix because I mean they basically have no other choice but to tank now because I love Devin Booker, but man, without Aiden, that team has no ceiling whatsoever. And I know they look great against Sacramento in the second half, but yeah, they're worrisome to say the least. I wish I kind of would have taken some money on their under win totals now in retrospect. But yeah, that's a bit of a crazy thing. I hope nothing's wrong with him and he's all right and he can just come back and get back to business after the 25 games. But yeah, that was a little crazy. I feel a little bad for Suns fans, but they've been dealing with a lot of adversity for several years. So this is just one more chapter in that, I think.
Right, yeah, and the Suns didn't look too bad the other day. They was actually playing some defense, man. They were locking down, and you see this total in this Phoenix and Denver game shooting down pretty much. I know it's like at 221, 220 is more than that. That's already down to 218 and a half. Do you have anything on this game? I don't have anything on it. I just want to touch on the Aiden situation. Do you have any thoughts on this game or want to talk about the Aiden situation real quick, Junior, before we get into this Blazers and Kings game?
Not really. When I heard that he got suspended for substance abuse, I just read the headline. I just assumed that he was smoking weed. You know, his parents, he from the Bahamas. My parents from the Caribbean, so I just thought he was smoking a little bit something on his during the off season. But all jokes aside, that's like a death blow to the Phoenix organization. I mean, like Jordan said, they might as well just go into tank mode this year because even with him, they're struggling. Without him, they're donezo. So. Yeah, it's just an unfortunate look for a young guy, but he'll bounce back.
Yeah, I hope so. One thing I do have to say about this, I know he played at the same college with Trier over there in Arizona. I know Trier got suspended, you know what I'm saying, in college for some performance enhancing drugs. So, hey, I'm just saying, I don't know what they got going over there in Arizona. Both of them probably got paid some money to go there, and then you got to use performance enhancing drugs. I don't know, man. I don't really like a cheater, man. I feel like if you're that good, you don't have to cheat, man. But on to the next thing. We don't really know what happened, but that was definitely something that stood out to me. The first thing, him and Trier was on the same team in college. But on to this Portland and Kings game, man. Yeah, another big injury. Bagley going down over there. And then you got Fox. You know what I'm saying? He's a little banged up, little sprained ankle over there. The Blazers just came off a home loss over there versus Denver, man. I hadn't played this game yet either, but I like the Blazers here. But I can't say this is the reason why I hadn't played it. And all NBA games, I don't think it's best to play them before a game. I think we'll get a better line in this -2.5. I think that the Kings, even with the Bagley injury, they have to come out hot. The way the Kings played, they play with a lot of energy. They have a really good home crowd. They got some new players over there. I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see the Kings come out here hot in this first quarter, first half. We've been seeing them have the leads in the first halves. I'm sure you know, Jordan. You had the Kings first half the other day versus the Suns, and then they end up losing the game by almost 30 points. That tells me coaching issues right there. I mean, they showed Luke Walton when the Suns start making their runs. They just showed Luke Walton. He's just sitting there with like a deer in the headlights. He doesn't really know what to do. I'm not a fan of that Luke Walton head coaching job there. I wasn't a fan of it when they announced it. I knew that it probably wouldn't work out. It's the beginning of the season, but I'm just not a fan of him. I don't think he's a real coach. A lot of people looked at him what he did over there with Golden State. It was the players, man. I could have stepped in and been the coach over there, and the boys would have still had a damn good record, man. Not a fan of Luke Walton. I think the Kings can still come out hot, but after halftime, man, I'll either be on Blazers second half or I'm gonna hop on them when the Kings take the lead. I think we'll get a better line than it's 2.5. So I like the Blazers. No official play on the 2.5. I will be on them to win this game though, because I think in the second half the Blazers obviously have the better squad out here, especially with the injuries. I think the Kings come out hot, but I think that the Blazers will get it done. I like the Blazers in this one. What you think about that, Jordan?
Yeah, I don't mind the Blazers at all. I think just one thing that I think about is, like, even though the Kings are without Marvin Bagley, who I'm a huge fan of, I will admit that straight up. But they have a ton of front court depth, and I think Bjelica is going to come in here and fill in pretty nicely for him. Not so much on the defensive end. He's not much of like a rim runner like Bagley is, so he's not going to get those pick and roll dunks, but he's going to get those pick and pop threes. And so he does have some danger in that one. But without Bagley. And if Dedmon is only playing 15 minutes a game and they're going small, the Kings defense is going to be pretty bad here. So I definitely think that you're on the right side here with Portland. I think they do come out here and win this game. Don't necessarily think I'm going to make a play on this one here. The road favorites have been good to us in some spots and not so much in others. So I'm going to stay off this one and wait a little bit longer here. May look into some earlier plays though in the first quarter, the first half. Just not sure yet.
Exactly, and that's a damn good point by you, B Fox. Is Buddy Hield playing? Is another guy that got a little ankle injury. And he's questionable tonight. Even if these guys do give it a go, the way that they play, and the coach isn't sure if Buddy's gonna play as well. So that'll definitely be something that interesting to see. We see this line moving all over, but I can't tell you guys, the Kings are still gonna come out hot. As long as Fox is playing, they're gonna come out and win either this first quarter or this first half. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. They've been coming out really hot in the first half and totally fading. I don't know how you lose that game by 30 fucking points to the Suns. I mean, I know the defense is on it, but that's just terrible coaching. What you think about this one, Junior? Then we're gonna get into this last Lakers game.
Yeah, I'll be real quick. This game is a wait and see for me. I have no action on it. My main reason is I watched the Portland game, and on paper I didn't like their front court. I hated it even more after watching that game. I just don't. When I say their front court, I know Whiteside has a chance to, if he could be the player he was a couple of years ago, that takes the ceiling for this team way up. But if you just look at their forwards like Rodney Hood, Hazonia, Bazemore, I'm forgetting somebody. I mean, I just have no confidence in their wing players whatsoever. So I just kind of want to see them play a couple more games. As for Sacramento, the Luke Walton thing, I agree with your take. I'm not really sure what's going on over there. Marvin Bagley being out, I just have way too many questions to put any money behind this game.
Right, I got you. Kevin asking if we're gonna recap the plays. Yeah, we're gonna recap the plays. I got you, man. We're gonna break down this. We got like maybe 8 more minutes. We're gonna break down this Jazz and Lakers game real quick. Then we're gonna run through the plays. My take on this game real quick is I know a lot of people are down the Lakers this season, and I mean for deservingly so. A lot of people don't really like the roster. I am a buyer on the Lakers. I think they come out hot tonight. They have to. This is one team where, I mean, obviously if they get pile up these losses, go 0 for 2, 0 for 3, 0 for 4. I mean, the critics out there's no critics like ones in New York and in LA. There's none. You know what I'm saying? So I like the Lakers to at least come out high. I'm not on the full game, even though I still think that this is their game to take. And the Jazz do not look right now. This Conley trade over there does not look good. It's not the fact that he went 1 for 16 that first game. They're not meshing well. I'm not sure. We thought this was supposed to be an upgrade. It's not working right now for the Jazz. Donovan Mitchell had to do everything for this team the other night to beat OKC. I'm not a big fan of OKC. They were damn near losing that game the whole game and had to come back in the fourth quarter and win that game. And it was just by Donovan Mitchell. He carried that team on his back. If the Lakers lock down Donovan Mitchell tonight, they have a damn good chance of winning. Gobert didn't even look right out there. We know that they're going to have Anthony Davis on the 5, most likely pulling Gobert out, and that the inside is going to be wide open, man. I've seen so many defensive breakdowns for this Jazz team. It didn't make sense. They did not look right now. They are not in cohesion. I think that the Lakers will have to start off high. For them to win this game, they have to fucking start off high and win this first quarter and this first half. They absolutely have to. They know that they've been talking. They say they had got a good practice last night. LeBron and AD have to come out hot. The whole team has to come out hot. You have a couple of defensive players over there that will lock down Donovan Mitchell. I'll put Avery Bradley on him. Put him on. They will disrupt him enough to keep him around 20 points a night. Mitchell is not going for 30. Even if he does, I don't think that the team collectively for the Jazz, who do play the Lakers well, I don't think in this particular game that they will. I do like the Lakers full game, but I like the first quarter and the first half even more. They have to start off high. Absolutely have to. They started off high versus the Clippers. Why can't they do it versus Jazz? What you like about that one, Junior?
That's my main play for tonight. I got the Lakers first half -1.5. LeBron is just going to come out in King James mode. I felt like he heard the talk. You know, people crowning Kawhi King of LA after one game, which is ridiculous. And don't get me wrong, I think Kawhi is the best player in the NBA right now, but the LeBron disrespect is a little bit out of control. And you know LeBron reads every headline. He's going to come out with a full head of steam. He's going to want to get the crowd going. And I want to piggyback on something you said about Donovan Mitchell. I watched that game against Oklahoma City. In the last 5 or 6 minutes of that game, the only person that made a field goal for Utah other than Donovan Mitchell was Royce O'Neal. Nobody else wanted it. Nobody else could do it. Donovan Mitchell is the only guy. And if you're going to put that type of pressure on Donovan Mitchell, the trades and the moves that they made were made to take the pressure off of him. He's a volume scorer. And if he's going to ever be a more efficient player, because I see Donovan Mitchell as like I compare him to Dwayne Wade, and obviously he's not on that level, but just the type of player he is, a small combo guard that plays bigger than he is. If they want him to ever be an effective player, they got to support him way more than they did in that first game, because if that's the way the season's going to go, that's a bad sign for Utah, putting all of their cards into Donovan Mitchell, putting everything on Donovan Mitchell's back and expecting him to carry the team every night. That's not going to work out.
Right. Yeah. Hey, that's what they're doing right now, and that's really their way to go. What you think about this one, Jordan?
I definitely will lean first half on the Lakers if you're going to make a play on the Lakers here, because I would be remiss if say that I agree with you completely on LeBron James. He's almost 35 years old, but man, he's going to come out and prove that he's still got a lot left in the tank tonight. And I think you're absolutely right about the Anthony Davis Gobert matchup. I think that really favors the Lakers, especially I feel like you said if AD is running pick and roll, and Gobert's a pretty good defender, but I think the way you beat him is get him moving and get him into pick and roll. Even though he's a pretty good defender, he's not really going to be able to switch onto LeBron if they're running AD and LeBron pick and rolls in this game early and often. If they're getting kick out threes, and if Rondo plays tonight, I think that's an underrated factor. If he gets some bench run and he gets the ball moving and swinging around in that bench unit, they're going to get some open shots. Now, I'd be also. I think we also have to really not overreact about Utah. This is going to be a really good basketball team, but it's going to take some time. They got a lot of new moving parts with Bojan Bogdanovic and Mike Conley. They're trying to integrate them into an offense that really revolved around Donovan Mitchell. And I think like Conley even said it after the game. He's like, I was a little nervous. This is the first real basketball game, a real season of basketball that Mike Conley has gone into in the last 3 years, where he actually has a chance to make the playoffs and make a deep run in the playoffs as this Jazz team plays up to par. I'm not quite a believer in the team just itself, but in a whole, they have a lot of good parts and a lot of depth, which I think is going to give the Lakers some problems if they start hitting some shots. So, I mean, that's the biggest thing for me, though, is outside of the matchup issues that LeBron and AD LeBron and AD give to them, there's going to be a lot of matchup issues that the rest of those Jazz guys give to some of those other Lakers, especially the depth once we get into the bench part of this. So I think maybe I'm talking myself more into the Lakers first quarter here instead of first half, just because I don't want to take the chance of getting into the bench mobs here for Utah and then really taking advantage of some of the Lakers and some of their lack of depth. But I agree. I think that we're going to see a playoff LeBron in October tonight, even if it's just for one game or just a few stretches here, because he and Anthony Davis are going to have to come out and be the best two players on the floor for the Lakers to win this game. They know that. I think they understand that they don't want to go into the season 0-2 like Junior or like Jay said and is with all the talk in LA. So yeah, I really don't think I'm going to make a play on this one. It's a little late for me. I think it's probably going to be one of those games I just want to watch and enjoy before I fall asleep. But yeah, I think I might lean if I had to make a play on the Lakers either first quarter or first half. Though I'd have to take a look. I really haven't taken as much of a look into it as I'd like, so I'll have to go back and check on that now that you guys like it.
Right. Yeah. Well, hey, I'll definitely see how the Lakers come out tonight, man. Like I say, I know Jordan likes the first quarter, the over, and that in the Pelicans and Mavs game. I know that let's see, I know that Junior is on the Lakers with me as well. Junior, you want to go through real quick? We got 2 more minutes, man. Junior, real quick, your plays of the day, real quick.
Yeah, I got the Lakers first half -1.5, and I got the Pelicans full game -2.5.
Cool. And then Jordan, your plays of the day.
Yeah, I got the overnight on the Raptors and Celtics under 111.5 in the first half. That's down to 109 and a hook, and then I got the over on the first quarter with Mavs Pellies at 59.
Cool. And like I told you guys, man, hey, it's some plays today that I'm really liking early. You know what I'm saying? I think that these teams have to come out hot. They don't want to go down 0-2 early in the season, and they're the home team. That's even better. With this first game of the season, they're going to come out hot with the home crowd. So I'm liking the Celtics in the first quarter, minus the half, minus the 120. And I also got the Celtics the first half, minus 1.5. And I like the Lakers in the first quarter, minus the 1.5, and the Lakers in the first half, minus the 2. And then I'm also leaning. I'm going to be on the Blazers. I'm going to wait until they go down and try to get some plus money. I do think that the Blazers are going to win that game. I'm leaning towards the over in the Mavs and Pelicans game. No play for me. And I also like the Wolves -5, man. Don't forget, guys, we'll be on tomorrow as well. Me and Junior be on tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern. You guys come and join us every day, Monday through Saturday, jamming with J Money, 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 o'clock Central, man. Let's everybody cash these bets and have a good Friday. You guys come back and tune in with us tomorrow. Thank you guys for jamming with J Money.